Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Dropping into Happiness. This is the second episode of 2023, and we are your hosts. I am Rachel.
And I'm Maggie.
Welcome, friends and darling Sundrops. I don't know why I've added darling in front of Sundrops. I feel like that's always how I refer to our Sundrops now, as darling Sundrops.
It just makes them even more magical.
It does. It just feels so sweet because I love them so much. So, hello, friends. As I mentioned, this is the second episode of 2023, and I'm going to tell you our topic, and then I'm going to tell you something else kind of fun before we get into our topic. So, topic of today. The very first episode ever, I guess you would call it our pilot episode, was called Why I Wanted to Lose Weight. And that was, the first week of January, 2022. Well, there's been a whole year. A lot can happen in a whole year. So Maggie and I have decided to kind of revisit our why going into this year. Okay, so it's like, what is it, 2023? Going into 2023, what is our why now? Has it changed? Has it shifted? Maybe we are still, zeroed in on that same exact why, but let's talk about it. Let's see why. Why did I want to do this then? Why do I want to do this now? Okay, so that's going to be our topic. But friends, I was just telling Maggie, so as I said, we know you guys are our darling Sundrops. We love you guys so much, but I don't know if you guys realize just how global we are. So I'm going to tell you, I know.
We're international.
We are. So obviously North America is holding it down. United States and Canada, we are holding it down. So but in our top 10 of the countries where you guys listen to us. So we want to say hello to all of our friends in these other places. So United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is clumped as one. That's our third. Like, we got a lot of you guys in the UK and Northern Ireland, like, showing some love. But then we have Australia, just Ireland itself. So regular Ireland. So there's Northern Ireland and then Ireland, New Zealand, Germany, Singapore, Norway is actually a new one in the last couple of months, and South Africa. So hello to our friends all over the world.
That is just so wild to think about. Like, there's someone in Norway listening to our little podcast.
Yes.
I just can't believe it.
I know. And I was just telling Maggie too, last night my daughter was trying to say please for something. And I realized we only know how to say please in English and Spanish. And I'm like, that would be fun to learn how to say please in other languages. So if anybody else knows another language on how to say please, me and Maggie, we're interested. We want to expand our brain and our horizons and our especially if you're from one of those countries who listens and says it in another language. I would love to hear that. So awesome. All right, Maggie, do you have any announcements today?
I just wanted to say that the WW community, our podcast community, the Instagram community, all of the people that make up Who We Reach are absolutely the most amazing people on this planet.
Yeah.
We have, Rachel's a former WW coach. I'm a current WW coach, and we had another WW coach. That was a lot of coaches in one sentence. But a family member, in a sense, lost their father very suddenly, very unexpectedly. And when, due to the circumstances of this situation, there's a financial impact. And me and another coach, Ivana, who has been on our podcast before, we decided to join forces and raise money for this friend. And people have showed out. Like, as of right now, $3,200 have been raised. And a lot of people not really knowing the full details, just to protect like space and boundaries and all of that. But like people just willing to give and to support with the information that we, provided in terms of what was going on. And that just blows my mind. We raised almost $1,500 for the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida. That was thanks to a lot of Sundrops.
Yep.
Just the way that people you tap into that generous spirit, and they're just so trusting. It's like no one ever second guessed like what we were doing or what the mission was, and it's just really humbling to have this platform and to use it for the greater good. I just love it.
Definitely. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for showing the love. I mean, and it doesn't have to be, oh, here's $500. Guys, I promise you, if somebody needs something and you can give $5, that's
right.
like that.
$1 can really add up. Even $1.
Yeah.
Like I think about how many people watch my stories and all of this, and I think, okay, if everybody gave $1 from the people, that are watching, I mean, we'd have thousands of dollars, like to bless a cause or like a circumstance, and we well surpassed what we had intended to do with this endeavor, but it's just very humbling, and it kind of like renewed my zest for the community, because as a content creator, you open yourself up to criticism. You feel like you're being watched under a magnifying glass sometimes, and that can get a little bit like disheartening at times. So to know, the pros just outweigh the cons, basically. And I'm excited for this year.
We have actually talked about doing a Patreon, and I'm not sure if anybody knows what Patreon is. A Patreon is it's a website where content creators can get support from the community. And I can tell you right now that should Maggie and I ever decide to do that, we have already decided that a percentage of every single month would go to something that we like, a greater good, something like Feeding America, or youth nutrition programs in underdeveloped communities, like means something where we could make a difference, just because that would absolutely be something we would love to do. Puppy on the screen for
y'all. If you're not watching on YouTube, you miss all of the fur babies. So I'm excited. I feel renewed and rejuvenated.
Definitely.
For 2023. But
it's a good time to feel that too. I know. So getting into that though, getting into this discussion today. So in this journey, we have talked about our why. And I know we had one not that long ago, an episode about our whys. But so this episode is kind of expanding on, why do I want to do this right now? We've talked about our previous why we started to do WW in the first place, a wellness journey in the first place. But I kind of wanted to talk it out. And I know, like I said, very selfish of me, because this is something I needed to do. Why do I want to do this right now? In this moment, is it the same as it was January last year? Has it changed? Has it updated? So do you have in mind, Max, like, do you think yours has changed, or is it shifted? Is it altered? Has it grown?
I think I listened back to that episode, and parts of what I shared then are still very relevant. And if you are a newer listener or you haven't had a chance to check out that episode yet, congestive heart failure runs in my family, sleep apnea, type 2 diabetes. So there's some serious medical conditions that I'm just trying to dodge for the rest of my life. So, of course, weight loss would benefit or would impact those. What am I trying to say? It would benefit me to lose weight, because some of those things are very much weight related issues. However, it's also more so changing my habits, and weight loss being a byproduct of that. The way that we eat, the way that we move, right, can really impact our internal health, like our actual blood work and all of those things. So it's so crazy to think about. So that's still really important to me. I would say a lot of my why was running focused for a long time. I wanted to get faster, and I knew losing weight would help me get faster. Now my interests have shifted. And you know what's really funny, Rachel? I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast. I guess there was an early episode in 2022. It may have even been the why episode, but I'm not sure. I actually said I don't ever see myself doing CrossFit.
I feel like I remember you saying that now.
I said that, and I completely forgot that I said, like, it was just one of those things where like months go by and you just shift your focus. And then I just did a CrossFit competition at the beginning of December, and a listener pointed it out to me. They were like, did you realize that you had said you never saw yourself doing CrossFit, and then here you are doing a CrossFit competition? Isn't that so cool? And I was like, wow, I didn't even realize that. And so I feel like my interests have shifted. So, obviously if I lose weight, things like box jumps, or, things like jump roping and these, different skills, pull-ups and things will be a bit more manageable, because, when you weigh more, you're throwing that body weight around,
Yeah.
So it brings its challenges, and it'll be safer on my knees and joints and all of that stuff. So I feel like that's one of my
I don't
bigger
remember though. Did you
motivations.
say you would never do CrossFit because you felt like you couldn't, or it just wasn't an interest?
I think it was like a fear of just like
Yeah.
not thinking that was for me, because there are a lot of skills, and I didn't realize at the time I said that CrossFit can be scaled down. Like there's,
Yeah.
but like handstand walks, or even like handstanding against a wall, or like, pull-ups and muscle ups and all these things. I was just like, oh, I'll never be able to do that. And now I know, well, there's different versions of these things, and like, hey, maybe I will be able to do that. So I didn't mention this in our goal episode because I hadn't made this goal yet, but one of my goals for this 2023 is to be able to do a box jump at competition height, which is 20 inches tall.
I was just going to say, how tall is that? So what is that? Almost 2 feet? Just under 2 feet?
Almost 2 feet.
Okay.
I think the like male competitor does 24 inches, but and today I box jumped 14 inches. So like I'm working myself up there. It's really a mental thing. But
can I tell you the craziest thing I saw at the gym the other day? I was on the treadmill warming up, doing my little, just kind of getting my blood flowing, and this guy out of the corner of my eye, he jumped over the height of his body. Like the box was higher than his eyeballs, and he jumped onto that, and I almost tripped. I was like, I'm sorry. Like it took me off guard. And I was like, did nobody else see that? Like nobody else saw him just do that. And he did it like 3 times. I was floored. I was like, that's a superhero right there. Like, I don't know how he did that. He's like Spider-Man. It was so crazy.
It's so wild to me that people have those hops and that they're just not afraid. Because part of it is just being afraid. I'm just afraid that I'm going to trip and like bust my shins on that box. And it's definitely a possibility, like people have done it. So I'm just like, but I want to build up baby steps. So anywho, for me, I feel like a lot of my weight loss for a while has just been like fitness motivated. Like, I know that losing like body fat will only support my fitness endeavors, because I'm just like, I'm an athlete.
It goes hand in hand.
Like, I love being active. I love like crazy challenges. All those things. I'm turning 30 this year. Which is like a milestone,
Yes.
So part of me has a little bit more of a pressing, like, I'd like to get a little bit closer to goal by the time I turn 30. In theory, like I probably could get to goal by then. So that's a little bit of a more short-term like incentive of like, oh, it would be nice by your birthday.
30, flirty, and thriving.
Yeah. But like I'm already like healthier than I was when I was 16. So
isn't that wild? I am too. I weigh more than I did when I was 16, but like I have rings that my parents got me when I graduated high school that fit me better now than they did that, which is weird that my rings fit me, and I'm more higher in weight than I was then, but yeah, I know my body itself internally is better. And it's funny too, I was just saying that at work the other day. I had put on weight since I went back to, full-time in the building. And I've had people go, "Nuh-uh, no, you haven't." And I was like, apparently I'm holding it differently because my body is stronger than it used to be. So I'm holding weight differently. My body is holding on to it differently than it used to. And so that's kind of good to know too. But you know what you said? Wait, Maggie, you said, the box jump scares me. Like, and I immediately was like, oh girl, then you're going to crush it because CrossFit scared you. And now you did a CrossFit competition. And like, I love that you kind of go after these things that scare you, because that accomplishment just feels different. You know what I mean? Especially to conquer, because you're conquering something that you feared. And I love that.
I think that's such a great point. And I think, back last year when we were sharing our whys, and for the majority of my WW journey up until this point, my why was very weight loss focused. It was like, I want to lose weight because now it's like, I want to be healthy because, and like the weight loss will just come with that. It's more of a focus of like taking care of my body's macronutrient needs and getting vitamins and minerals so I don't get sick. And, I've focused so much more on sleep this past year than I ever did before. So it's like continuing that. And I just want, like, when people meet me and they like spend time with me, I would love for them to be like, whoa, like Maggie's health is a big priority for her. Like, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's part of my why more so than, oh, like I would really love to lose X amount of pounds. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. I mean, I would. I'm not going to lie. But like the priority is I just want people to see like, oh, Maggie really prioritizes her health and that is so cool.
Yeah. We have another first she was a WW member, and I don't know if you've heard, she is now a WW support, Miss Dacia.
Oh,
Something
yeah.
she used to always say, and it was I always felt the same way too, was I'm on a health and wellness journey with a side effect of weight loss. Like the weight loss is just something that's going to happen. But I mentioned a few weeks back a book that I've been reading, honestly, and I feel horrible. I can't remember what it's called. I will put it in the show notes. About eating to beat disease. And I cannot tell you how extremely interesting this book has been. Because from the get-go, like I said, if you haven't listened to episode 1, like my mom was diagnosed with diabetes, and she was like one of the last women in our family to be diagnosed with it. And I was like, no, because all her sisters, her mom, her dad, like it's just rampant in our family. And I was like, no, I want to break that cycle. If it's something that I can avoid, that I can, get in front of, that's what I want to do. And I still feel that way, but I feel like that kind of got pushed aside because it got to, hey, my jeans don't look good anymore. Hey, you know what I mean? Like it just, the health concern took a back seat, and I don't like that anymore. That is something that I want to focus on. And the certain, like, I mean, strawberries are crazy nutritious. I mean, there's little, like, you don't even think about that. You're like, oh, it's a strawberry. You don't realize the benefits of some of these things. So when you really look at that nutrition and what nutrition, like you said, does to our internal system, because you don't see it. So that's why I think we focus a lot on, oh, well, I want to be back in my size 10s, or I want to see that number on the scale. Because that's something we can see. It's, you know what I mean? But because we don't see those numbers until we go to the doctor and get the blood work done, and then we can see all of those things. But just know that it's happening. I needed to bring that back to my forefront of why I wanted to do this. So that book has really been helping me, because I even said that a few weeks ago. Remember that I want to read more books like that to keep it top of mind of why this is important. My husband's getting a little annoyed with me talking about stem cells, because I did not know as much about stem cells as I do now. And it's so interesting. And I'm like, do you know what that's doing to your stem cells right now? And he's like, I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm like, I swear, I'm like, should I have been a scientist? Because these are just the coolest things. And guys, we are so intricate. Our bodies are so cool, and they're so just amazing. And the things that food can do for our bodies, the things that a little bit of effort and walking can do for our bodies. I mean, it's wild what can happen. I even saw a quote today. It was something completely unrelated, and I didn't watch the rest of the video, but just the thing that he said in the very beginning, and it was titled, was just because you get older doesn't mean you need to get weaker. And I was like, I 100% believe that. And like you said, like focusing on macronutrients, because to increase our immune system, to help us not get sick so often. I mean, there's so many things that can happen as we get older that we can counterbalance and counteract. And it's so cool. And that's definitely really spiked back to the top of my, why am I doing this? 100%.
I love hearing your growth mindset energy. And I feel like that's something we both have. And I feel like it is essential for a sustainable health and wellness journey. It's like you have to be willing to grow, to learn, to try new things, to do the things that are scary to you, to try new activity. I was like an Orange Theory girly through and through for well over a year or more, and I still enjoy it. Like I would go back, but my focus shifted and I tried something new, and I was like, oh, wow, this is really awesome. And so I just made an Instagram reel the other day about group fitness classes. And I was like, y'all, if you want to get more active, like go try different classes. Like you never know, Zumba may be the thing for you, or cycling might be the thing. Or, I mean, there's just so many different genres of activity. And it's like, just go out there and see what you enjoy, and then start to set little goals within that. Like, my box jump thing is like I was doing 12 inches, and then today I was like, all right, let's just see if we can do 14. And it was like bada bing, bada boom. Now I know, like, okay, girl, you can do 14 inches. Like, that's the minimum. And it's just like the growth. And it's not, I'm going from 0 to 100. It's like I'm going from 12 to 14.
Yes.
So I think applying the growth mindset and implementing it with our why, it's where the magic happens.
But do you know why I think that's vital? Because I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but when you give yourself like a end date, like this is it, this is what I want to accomplish. Once you get there, what happens?
You're like, oh, okay.
All done.
Yeah.
Yeah, all done. Let's just go back to everything how it was before, because I've done that. I can't tell you how many times. And I know so many people ask us that too. Oh, how do you keep the motivation alive? How do you keep the drive alive? How do you keep moving forward? And I can promise you, curiosity, like that alone can help keep that moving forward. Because it's like, cool, could I go up to 14? Ooh, like, because you know what I'm going to do, Maggie? Oh my gosh, I hope they let me do like a little video or something. I think I've told you about pound before, right? Where you have like drumsticks and you like pound the floor. My community center is going to have a pound class, like a 6-week course for starting next Wednesday. I'm so excited.
That sounds fun.
Because like I've done it at home a few times, but I'm like, holy cow, the energy in a class would be so different. It would be so fun. Excited. Yeah, and I have my own sticks.
A celebration of growth and I don't. This doesn't really tie into our topic, tangent, but I made this video and
first
I'll have
one
to
of
put
2023.
Oh, gosh, I'm gonna send it to Rachel right now, literally, so I don't forget. So we can post it. Because she's so great at remembering. But we need to post this on the Dropping Into Happiness podcast Insta, because remember when we were going to be jump rope girlies?
Yes.
I had to dive deep into my Instagram story archives to be like, okay, when did I start trying to jump rope? When did I kind of tail off? And I found a video from day one when I was like, okay, I'm trying to jump rope now. And I was doing like the little extra jump in between with the rope, and I was like tripping on the rope. And then I took a video of myself today. And I put it side by side.
You've been doing 100 unders, right?
Yeah.
Single
and I'm
unders?
just like crushing it. And it's like, oh, and I think that's so fun for those that were watching on the YouTube. You got a little spoiler. But I was like, wow, like, okay. I talked about in a previous episode how I was beating myself up and how I was like, oh gosh, and I was like, I'm still kind of in that place where I'm having to work really hard to pass the mic to the positive version of Maggie on her health and wellness journey. But that was like a big picture moment, because I was like, okay, yeah, the scale's up a little bit. We didn't lose weight in 2022, but like, man, I got better at jump roping. And I didn't even try that hard. I took a big hiatus there. And then, but then what really worked was combining it with something that I was already doing regularly, and then making it really specific of like, okay, you're just going to do 100 and then you're done. And now, like in 2023, I'm going to be focusing on at least accomplishing like one double under. That's like my jump rope goal for 2023. But
you actually gave me an idea for jump rope, because I went to the gym the other day and I was looking at like all the little extra things they have, and they don't have jump ropes anywhere. And I was like, son of a gun. And then I thought about it, because I saw someone one day at my gym with the jump rope, and I was like, did they bring their own? And I was like, why couldn't I bring my own? So, because you were like, I was just trying to do 100, as part of my set of things. And I was like, why couldn't I do that? I could just pack my jump rope in my gym bag and go there and try to do, my 100 under. Then I know exactly where in my gym I'm going to do that. So that's something I'm adding to my gym bag for 2023.
Another tangent while we're here. Speaking of gym and gym bags, do you wear, okay, like when you get dressed for the gym and then you go to the gym, do you put on in your house the shoes that you're going to wear inside of the gym?
If I'm going from home, yes. If I'm going from work, I do everything at the gym. But if I'm coming from home, I'm head to toe in what I'm going to wear at the gym.
This is what I have done as well, is like if I know I'm just pretty much going straight to the gym, I just wear the shoes that I'm going to wear in the gym. Yeah. Funny story, for those that follow me on Instagram may have caught this.
I saw you carrying your shoes.
Yeah, so I was in Kentucky with my younger brother who is in the Air Force, and he was on leave, and he is a CrossFit boy himself. And I got a new pair of weightlifting shoes for Christmas, and so we were going to go to a CrossFit class together, and I started putting my shoes on like in our house, and he was like, oh, no. You don't wear those in the real world. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, we're just going to the gym. And he was like, don't wear them outside. He was like, wear some, whatever street shoes and then change into your gym shoes at the gym. And I was like, why would I do that? And
Yeah.
he was like, because like, especially in like CrossFit gyms or really any gyms where you're going to be getting on the floor, like doing burpees and crunches and sit-ups and planks and all of this stuff. If you're bringing in your shoes, like from the elements,
you're bringing in the elements.
You're bringing in the elements and you're dirtying up the gym and stuff. And, I live in Florida. You live in California. The weather isn't too, is it inclement?
Inclement, yeah.
But like it makes sense. We were in Kentucky. It snowed. There was salt, and all that stuff. I was like, so now the past 2 times I've gone to the gym because I'm like, oh, I want new habits. I've been wearing like slides or whatever and then changing into my shoes at the gym because they have little cubbies and stuff. But then I was like, wait a minute, why don't I just pack a gym bag with different pairs of my shoes, my weightlifting belt, my jump rope, my wristbands, whatever, and just leave it in my car.
Yeah.
So then I don't have, I was like, the gears are turning. See, growth.
I know, but you know what?
Mindset.
When he told you not to, you know what? Where my brain went? My brain went to okay, because it's like when a superhero puts their cape on, like it's a different personality. Like those are gym shoes. Like when you get there, then it's go time. Like you don't put those on until it's go time. Like that's kind of where I went. I was like, ooh, I kind of like that though. Like wearing slides to the gym, then not putting my gym shoes on until I get there. Like, now we're in it.
Right.
Like, in the mindset. Yeah, that's where
like, that's
took.
the
I was like,
vibe. Yeah. Like that's just the vibe I want in 2023. Is like
I like it.
Like. Like 2022 was a good year. I accomplished a lot, but my mindset was not in the. Like, you need to be watching YouTube to like see our full expression. But like that's what I want to take into 2023. I just want to like step into my own. Like I'm just I'm excited to like be 30, and I'm like.
Yeah, you have a big year coming up. That's a lot of stuff. Right. I mean, you're kicking it off with the big stuff with
by
the Dopey challenge.
By the time y'all are hearing this, I will be home from Dopey.
Yeah.
So Godspeed, future Maggie.
Being carried in the house because your legs don't work anymore.
Well, I'm like, we have Universal season passes, and I'm like, pending my legs still work, Monday we could go and ride Velocicoaster and then drive home. So that's like, okay. And that was a part of my why is like roller coasters and all of that. And so a lot of those things have not changed. It's like protecting the why and protecting the energy of like health and wellness and athleticism and eating fruits and veggies. Like it's so bad. ASS.
Yeah.
It really is.
I know.
And like I want rather than like, oh, this is so annoying. Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to lose weight? Why do I have to meal prep? It's just like because it's what healthy girlies do.
Yeah.
And I just want to take that energy. Like this podcast is pumping me up. I'm feeling pumped.
I love
it. And the caffeine's probably driving through my veins right now, but it's fine.
Oh man. Well, let's get into just this week now. Let's get into our this week's goals and recommendations. I think you went first last week because my landscapers were here. So
yeah, so it's your turn.
Will go first this week. So last week my goal was to have my 20 ounces of water before I leave the house. Loving that little bit. And so actually my goal and my recommendation are kind of tandem this week. So I was telling Maggie earlier before we started recording, guys, that I wanted to start doing something for my health and wellness that I wasn't even noticing, that like kind of an effortless effort. I don't even know if that's a real thing. Effortless effort. And so I was looking up like the little baby bicycle that you can put under your work desk or things like that. Cause I don't have like a lifted work desk where I could get like a walker. So I got, and how do you say this? Is it Gaiam? Gaiam. That it's a very
I know that brand, but I'm not sure how to say it.
So for those watching on YouTube, I got a stability seat. You can see it. It's like a
So
big
cool.
disc, and it's not 100% filled up with air. And you put it on your seats. I'm taking it to the radio station where I work at, because that's where I sit the majority of the extended period of time. And what it does is it makes your seating unstable. So your core is constantly trying to level out. And I got it yesterday. I put it on my seat here at home while I was editing yesterday and doing some podcast stuff. Like 10 minutes in, I was like, ooh. And 20 minutes in, I was like, I have to take this off. I can't do this. I'm going to have to build up. Because, like, and even today, I was like, why is my lower back sore today? And I was like, I forgot. I was sitting on that for a long time yesterday. But so yeah, so like I'm looking for some more effortless effort kind of things. And I feel like that ties into, like, you know, having a water bottle always nearby. So you just like effortlessly grab it. You don't even think about it. So effortless effort is one of the things that I'm trying to, because I mean, like we've talked about building baby habits. And I think that that's something that I won't even realize I'm doing. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for. So yeah, I will put a link to where I got that on YouTube in the show notes, because it was on Amazon, but yeah, came super fast and I'm digging it. I'm digging it. So try something new. That's my goal, is to have that. I'm hopefully going to try to have it on my seat for at least 30 minutes a day the whole rest of the work week, because like I said, I'm gonna have to build up to it, because I could really feel it like within 10, 15 minutes. So yeah, so 30 minutes exciting. A day is what I'm working up to this week on my little seat thingy.
Seat thingy. That sounds so fun.
I don't know what it's called now. I don't know. Yeah.
Are y'all going to get sick of me setting the goal of keeping my tracking streak? Because that's really all I want. Like, that, if I had to pick one goal for 2023 of all of the goals, it would be to do my streak through the whole year. So it's like, y'all know I'm the queen of wash, rinse, and repeat, but like, how many times do I need to tell y'all that? You know? So like, I feel like I should set a bonus goal of some sort.
Okay, but so
I know what it is.
I would say, what would you feel like your benefit is for your tracking streak? Because you're not saying stay within my points. You're not saying be under my points. You're just saying tracking. So what do you find as a benefit of that, of why you feel like it's so important to do every week?
It is the baby step that keeps my food pillar and like a part of the conversation, because activity is so second nature to me. Don't even have to think about it. Like, barely have to talk myself into a workout at all. But when it comes to tracking my food, that's the thing that if I'm struggling, it's with the food pillar.
Okay.
So for me to just know that I'm tracking something, it's like eventually, like, if I'm not, what am I trying to say? If I track at least one thing, usually more things will be tracked. But if I avoid the app altogether, it
can go downhill for you. Okay.
Yeah, it's not benefiting me. So,
okay.
And I really just want to be one of those people who can be like, I've been tracking for 365 days.
Oh,
like, I
Mr.
just
Lewis. Mr. Lewis used to have a rad streak. I haven't seen him in a while. Mr. Lewis would have the greatest streak ever. He was so good.
I just want to be a streak girly. But in terms of like a fresh goal that y'all haven't heard yet, so I know for me that going in studio and weighing in makes a difference.
Okay.
And it's also a safe place where like the coaches know that I'm a coach, but the members don't. So we're keeping that on the down low. And the day we're recording this, I actually went in for the first time on a Saturday.
Yay!
To weigh in and check in, and stayed for the workshop. And it was actually so nice because I hadn't coached this week. I took the week off from coaching. So it was the first time really spending time with the topic. And it was just great to feel like I'm a member. And I, went in there and I shared my weight up, like, information with them and just like got it off my chest. And it was just nice that no one really knew the full history of me and like all my little details, So I felt like it was a clean slate. And I told them, that the next 2 Saturdays I was going to be out of town. So the second Saturday in January, I consider this like the first Saturday in January that we're recording. It's actually December 31st. But the following Saturday I will be in Disney. And then the Saturday after that I'll be in Tampa for a work conference. But I already looked up Tampa workshops because I'm going to go and do that weigh-in. And I even picked out a weigh-in outfit.
That you're going to weigh in every time in the same outfit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I have like 3 of the same shirt. So I was like, okay. And I have like a bajillion of the same bike shorts. So I was like, you're going to wear one of those shirts, the bike shorts. And I'm just going to make it a little ritual. Yeah. So my star goal is to do 3 weekly workshop weigh-ins. That'll be the goal for this episode and probably the next episode as well.
Yeah.
And then my recommendation is another podcast. It's not specifically health and wellness. It's more lifestyle, and just good vibes. It's called Gals on the Go with co-hosts Brooke and Danielle. I don't remember their last names, but Gals on the Go, they're like mid-20s girlies who live in New York, and they just share lifestyle type topics and talk about a variety of different things, and they have guests on their show. And I've been listening to them a lot because it kind of just feels like when I go on runs and things, I have like friends with me, like, chatting and stuff. So
and that's
I love
funny
that
you say that, because people say that about us, that like they only ever listen to us when they're walking. They like to hear it as they're walking. I think that's funny.
Yeah, it just feels like you're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have a quote this week, Maggie?
We do have a
wrap
quote.
It up.
So today's quote: "You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending." C.S. Lewis.
Yay! Well, hopefully this gave somebody else that we're looking for this year too. Let us know what that feels like for you guys. But it's time to say it. I know. And spoiler alert: next week's episode is going to be about sleepy time routines, evening routines, how it benefits, and all that good stuff. Because that was actually a request from someone, and I will name that someone next week's episode. Okay, guys. Thanks for dropping by.
Have a magical day.
Bye.